Hey everybody, it's Cory with Utah Dream Properties and Keller Williams. Today I'm going to talk to you, I got my notes, I'm going to talk to you about top 4 home staging tips.
Let's get to work. Let's get to work.
All right everybody, so when I go meet with a seller, and I'm going to do what they call a listing appointment, where I would go out there and I would talk to somebody about selling their home for them. There's a whole process to going through a listing, and we're not going to go through all of that today. We're going to narrow it down to our top 4 like staging or getting the home ready tips. So I'll just go in order on these, and then I'll kind of talk through them as we go. So number 1, and probably one of the easiest ones to do, is to declutter and then a little bit of depersonalize. So let's talk about that. So decluttering, obviously we live, the way that we live in life is we have stuff on the countertops, we have stuff, all over the place really, because we only have so much room in our homes, and that's okay. That's how we want to live, and it's great. And a lot of times it even looks nice. What we don't want is for when a buyer comes through, them to be looking at more of your personal items, or when they talk about depersonalize the home, they're talking about maybe some pictures on the wall, that kind of stuff of family. It's okay to have a few pictures of family up, don't get me wrong, because you still are going to live there. But when you have like all the generations on the wall and the whole wall's covered as an example, they're probably looking to see if they know anybody more than they are looking at your home to make sure that they can ask questions of their real estate agent of what they need to do to move in and that kind of thing. And it's the same thing with clutter. Clutter makes places look smaller, and it also is things for people to look at. And it sometimes makes it look dirty when it's cluttered. So we don't want that, right? So declutter and depersonalize, tip number 1. So number 2, okay, this is a good one, and sometimes it's easy to forget about, but we want to optimize curb appeal. So what do we mean by that? Basically, when I drive up to the home, I'm looking at the front of the home and the sides or whatever is visual from the road. We want to make that look as nice as possible. We don't need you to spend a bunch of money though. Like, remember, weed eating and lawn mowing goes a long ways. Maybe trimming some trees, those are all just elbow grease, like we used to say, right? You can put a little bit of work into the yard. It'll make it look totally different. We don't want you to go spend a bunch of money, right? But we do want you to get the most in return. So what I mean by that is, don't go buy a bunch of money in rocks. You can get the little wood chips for very cheap comparatively. Or if we want to add a little color to the front of the house, it's really nice to go down to Lowe's or something like that and just buy a nice brightly colored plant, and you can put it on one of the steps, like on the front porch or something like that. Just gives a little pop of color in there, and it's not super expensive. And like I said, those are all individual, and we can talk through those things. You guys call us and we'll come out and check your home with you. All right, let's look at number 3. So we're talking about highlighting the home's best features. Obviously, this helps when you declutter and when you make the front yard look really nice. That's great. And best features, it could be different things in different homes. Just as an example, you might have a really nice stove in your house, as an example. Somebody that really likes to cook, they're a super chef, that kind of thing. They got the 6-burner stove and the double ovens and all that. Well, we want to make sure that we don't have towels hanging on the stoves, and that we don't have a bunch of pots or anything on the top of the stove. We want to make sure that stuff is out and accented. And then of course we want to take photography of that and make sure that we talk about that in our advertising. So we want to accent the things that make your home awesome. All right, so I said I would do top 4. So this last one is kind of clean and repair. All right, so cleaning, right? That's free. We can do that. It's hard work, don't get me wrong, but we can do that, and we want to make sure we clean everything. It's easy to forget to maybe wipe down the walls. You don't think about that when we're there sometimes, but you'd be surprised if you take a light rag and you wipe down a wall, what kind of dust is on there. So we want to clean everything from top to bottom as much as possible. And then when I talk about repairs, please call us, because we want to keep as much money in your pocket as possible. The idea with repairs is to do what is needed, right? We don't want to turn over a property that has a broken HVAC system or something like that. I mean, unless you absolutely had to, you could say it's as is. That's a case-by-case basis. But for the most part, you want to fix those kind of things. Especially if, let's say, a long time ago, just as an example, let's say one of the bathrooms in the upstairs leaked a little bit around the toilet. Simple. You had to change out the ring around the toilet, and it was not a really big deal, but it leaked through and you got a little stain on the ceiling or a little bubble that can happen from water coming through onto drywall. If that wasn't fixed, the brain of a buyer is immediately that is a major problem in the house and that they're worried, and everybody always exaggerates how much that's going to cost, right? So it's very inexpensive thing to fix, but they might say that it's 5 or 10 times what that really should be, and all of a sudden they're scared off of the house, or they're asking for way too much off than what they should be asking. It's just an example, and there's a million of those that we could come up with, but we'll walk through the house with you. We'll tell you which things to repair, which things not to repair to keep as much money in your pocket as possible. And then of course we'll go over, when you're doing those kind of things, we want to stay neutral, right? Like if we're going to repaint a wall, let's be good about being neutral with that, because we get a wider variety or a wider audience that would like that, and not just narrow it down. So hopefully those 4 tips will help you. Please call us, because we're the ones that will come out there and really dig into these with you and make sure that your house is ready for top dollar. All right, everyone. So this week we talked about the top 4 home staging tips. Bree's hard at work putting these out every week. We get these requests, and that's why we're building this inventory up for you guys. You can go to our YouTube page. Please subscribe, like it, share it, ask us questions. All of our contact information is down below. You can contact us any way you want to, email, phone, text. We're here for you. Please have a great day.